across America, incredibly talented artisans make amazing objects the old-fashioned way, by hand. First, I'm going to Texas to meet an artist who takes handcrafting to new levels of devotion.
I dye the fabric.
Dyed all of these colors?
In North Carolina, Bobby Denton is carving intricate, historic rifles.
Most of my guns are 1740 to 1780.
He won't accept anything but perfection.
Finally, I'm heading up to Illinois, where Walter Arnold is one of the few remaining stone carvers in the U.S.
To know we can do things that will talk to people hundreds of years away is just a wonderful piece of humanity.
These artisans are completely blowing my mind.
Yeah, baby! Yeah, Pilot, I think it's about time we move back to the country. You know, we can sit in this rocking chair, I can drink some coffee, quilt. Well, I don't actually know how to quilt, but I know somebody that does.
Mara Ambrose lives in Bastrop, Texas with her husband and toddler. She's a young quilter with a knack for old school techniques, including making her own dyes.
My quilts are unique because of the naturally dyed fabrics that I use. They are very traditionally inspired by early American quilts and Amish quilts and even early African American quilts.
I think people respond to Mara's work because she uses timeless patterns, timeless techniques, but she brings a fresh perspective, I think, with the natural dyeing and her really fearless use of color. She's doing things the old way, not following trends in her patterns, and really thinking about these as heirlooms, not as a temporary seasonal blanket.
I love it. I feel like a little obsessed with it in a way that I'm surprised more people aren't.
Well, I'm obsessed with Mara's work too, and I can't wait to meet her.
Wow. Oh, that is beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, it's my current project that I'm just begun hand dyeing.
Wait a minute, you dye that?
I dye the fabric.
You dyed all of these colors?
I did.
Oh, now I'm even more in love with it. So when did you start doing this?
I made my first quilt just over 10 years ago. I actually learned to quilt in college. I studied fibers in Savannah, Georgia, and I've been doing it full-time as a profession for a little over 4 years now.
I'm assuming you made this one as well,
Yeah,
right?
yes, this is another quilt I made. It's a strip quilt, and it's I've used indigo and pomegranates to dye the colors.
How long would something like this take you?
It can vary from 40 hours to around 200 hours.
Do you hand stitch? Do you do it by machine?
I insist on hand stitching. This is a whole cloth quilt, and we use Japanese Sashiko thread. So the stitches, it's a heavier thread than like a traditional quilt thread. It's hand dyed with indigo. I have some indigo growing in the garden. I would love to show you that.
And with that, I'm about to learn how to dye fabric. And that is not something they teach you in Hollywood.
This is my dye kitchen. There's some indigo in this pot that's brewing. That's cochineal. It's a maroon type dye.
Yeah, it almost looks like beet juice. And here, oh, this is
This is some Osage, which is a yellow dye. Here's some linen that we've dyed with Osage wood. This is actually Osage wood chips. This is what I used to make that yellow dye.
Oh, yeah. How much property do you guys have here?
We have about 10 acres. I have dye plants and foods. Here's some Hopi sunflowers. They get really mammoth, and you use actually the seeds of the sunflower to dye. You can get like a light purple color. This is the indigo, actually. So the indigo is the leaf that gives the dye. It's got indican in it, which is the property of blue.
How does it turn blue? Or
Well, you have to process it. It's a reduction and oxidation process. It's not hard to grow, it's harder to process.
so how many leaves would it take to make, let's just say, one of your quilts?
I think it would take a couple acres. It takes a lot of indigo.
A couple acres?
Yeah, we're just getting started.
You'd never believe it if you didn't see it with your own eyes.
It is like magic.
It is.
Wow.
I can't wait to see how all of this fabric becomes a quilt. Before I met Mara Ambrose, I envisioned this little old lady quilting on her front porch, and that's not what's happening here. When she's not caring for a baby, Mara hand makes her dyes and hand stitches her quilts.
Something that takes a long time to make is definitely worth it when it's to be valued.
One of the most fascinating things about hand dyeing is how various fabrics respond differently to the same vat of color.
Look how vibrant that is. This is silk, and what is this?
This is cotton. The yellow, as you see, is a little bit more like dull,
Yeah.
not as bright, which is actually a nice thing to have in quilts and piecing them together, is to like shift the colors just a little.
I'm really interested to see indigo because it's one of my favorite colors.
So the indigo is a little smelly. Do you smell that?
I do smell. I thought you. No. Yeah, there's a definite different smell here.
It's a fermentation and oxidation process. Indigo takes the most time to prepare, but it's the fastest results. Here you go.
Mara preps the fabric by soaking it in a vat of water, allowing the dye to absorb evenly.
And as it oxidizes and the air hits it,
It's turning blue. I see it. It is like magic.
It is.
Wow.
What will be even more magical is using the fabrics Mara has hand dyed to create a beginner's quilt block. Fortunately, the block itself is put together using a sewing machine.
So really it starts with a square in the middle. There's no right or wrong size of the square.
I'm noticing there's a red square here, there's a red square, there's a blue square. Is there any significance to the color of the square?
History says that the red square symbolizes the heart of the home, so it's a warm home. It has a hearth blazing. Then, once you've sewn that together, you cut the edges with the scissors on both sides, and you iron it open. Then you put another piece, and you're basically building from the middle out in a spiral formation. I'm gonna give you a shot. Good job.
Ta-da!
It looks great.
I can't believe I just did that.
You made a quilt block.
Mara uses a light wool batting to fill in the block, then backs it with fabric dyed from avocado skins. Then it's the hard part, hand stitching the block.
The hand quilting that binds the 3 layers together, it's a visible stitch, an aesthetic. It's a beautiful stitch to be able to see. I have 2 different threads to use. This is the Japanese sashiko thread that's a thicker, heavier cotton thread. And then this is like a more traditional hand quilting thinner thread.
Well, this looks fun.
The heavy cotton?
Yeah, I like the heavy cotton.
Okay. Since it's small enough, we can just slip our needle right on in.
Does it matter how big is your stitch?
Every stitch is individual, just like a handwriting. Your stitch would be different than mine. A good thing to think about with stitch length is just to be consistent. When you're finished quilting, then you trim all 3 layers flush and you bind it together with a binding.
Mara has sold her quilts for as much as $7,000. And after seeing how much love and care goes into each one, I think they're totally worth every penny. Bobby Ditton dedicates his life to carving these majestic rifles. And when I say life, I mean life.
Just like the lot.
that goes into
it
this.
takes 8 million hours.
Take a close look at these gorgeous Lancaster-style long rifles.
Bobby's rifles are just simply breathtaking.
Handcrafted from one long piece of curly maple wood, a Bobby Ditton rifle can take 6 months to a year to make.
Bobby's level of craftsmanship and attention to detail is like no other.
He's a teacher, he's a gunsmith, he's just extraordinarily gifted.
Bobby Ditton is a Morganton, North Carolina native. He designs and hand carves Revolutionary War rifles. It's his way of honoring the American frontiersmen who fought a key battle against the British in this area. Those soldiers were called the Over-Mountain Men because they lived just over the Appalachian Mountains to the west.
Bobby's long rifle is very similar to something that you'd find from that era. The Over-Mountain Men may have gone as close as 500 yards to Bobby's house to fight in the Revolutionary War.
Not only are these rifles incredibly beautiful, they're also spot-on accurate.
So, Bobby, what kind of guns do you make? I know this is a long barrel rifle.
This one is a Lancaster-style Pennsylvania gun. Most of my guns are 1740 to 1780, someplace in that. That's the period of the flintlock rifle.
What makes you so attracted to that
Because
style?
they're the most beautiful in the world.
I gotta say,
They look so much better than anything else.
parts of me agree with you on that.
Bobby Ditton is obsessed with making things by hand. He got his start in furniture making. His son Rob grew up watching his dad design and build everything from furniture to his home, which he built from the ground up. And these historic long rifles.
In terms of the quality Dad puts forth on the rifles, he won't accept anything but perfection. So when he hands it off to whoever that may be, it's going to be perfect.
Okay, Bobby, so you take this beautiful piece of wood right here, and this turns into this. I want to know how that happens.
Okay. Well, let's go up to the carving machine, and I'll show you how the barrel goes in, and we'll figure out how it happens.
Okay.
Welcome to the upstairs.
The upstairs, I love it.
This is the carving machine, and see, I can go up, down, sideways. It requires a 3-axis action because this barrel is tapered down, then it flares back out.
Did you make this machine?
Yeah, it's just a bunch of C-clamps and scraps of metal. Yeah, this is the hillbilly version.
Hey, it works, right?
Yeah, it works, yeah.
What Bobby's carving out now is the long channel. That's where the barrel of the gun will sit. Now this task requires serious focus. If the channel is cut too wide or too deep, the piece of wood, which by the way costs $1,400, is ruined. And apparently, Bobby trusts me to carve it.
Oh dear Lord, let's help us all.
But if it slips over,
Yeah, we don't want
just
to
be
do that.
careful because you might hit metal.
Yikes.
Now just keep going.
Not too bad. I avoided catastrophic injury. After carving the stock into a familiar shape of a rifle, it's time to add the flintlock mechanism, the part that fires the gun.
Whoa, that really was like a firework.
This is the flint held in by a piece of leather, and we'll get a spark.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So if you look, you can see how the parts are kind of mirror images. Can you see that?
I see.
That's the best way to do one. If you chew all this wood out, you kind of lose a certain amount of strength. Then I go from the lock down to the trigger.
Now, how does this trigger go in that gun?
I have to first disassemble it, just like the lock, bend the plate to fit this contour, then I inlet the internal parts.
So much
Just
work
like the lock.
that goes
Oh,
into this.
It takes 8 million hours.
When the body of the gun is finally finished, Bobby gets to really be creative. He carves gorgeous designs into his rifles.
Is this the fun part of what you do?
I like the carving and the wire inlay.
Bobby sharpens and trims sheets of silver and creates thin wires to accent all of the many carvings on his rifles.
You've got some faces in here.
That's here. That's an old Baroque type style. It's called a grotesque mask. It's been around a long time. The same type of floral carving you see here and in the leaves that you see here, and give it facial features. It's a lot of fun.
And Rob Ditton is proud to show off his very own Bobby Ditton rifle.
And you can see he inlaid my name on the side of it. It says Rob Ditton's gun, 82, so I was 7 or 8 years old. I said I wanted a bug on it, and he came up with this spider web idea. So he inlaid silver and brass and did that for me. I've tromped all over the woods with it, shot at squirrels with it and everything else. I don't think I ever hit anything, but it's fully accurate.
Obviously, with this level of craftsmanship, a Bobby Ditton gun costs more than one you might find at your local sporting goods store. But it's this type of heirloom that tends to stay in the family for generations.
All right, Bobby, this thing's real pretty, but is it accurate?
Well, we'll find out.
While Bobby loads the rifle, 1780 style, let me just tell you, I'm no stranger to shooting guns, and I can hit a target. I cannot wait to give this gun a try.
All right, so you're a dangerous woman.
Well said. Woo! Yeah, baby! It's accurate.
Great shot, good shot.
Woo! High five. Or low five, or just any five. That's awesome.
In Illinois, there's an artisan bringing stone to life.
Now you can see where the face is going to be.
This is some physical work.
My hands are almost numb. This is the University of Chicago, and if you look around, you see some pretty amazing stonework. Everything from cool carved arches to gargoyles.
Years ago, a 10-year-old boy named Walter Arnold rode his bike through this campus every day and made up his mind that one day he would carve stones like these.
Now he's one of only 30 professional stone carvers in the country who can do it all, and we get to meet him.
All we have to do is head north to Elgin, Illinois.
Okay, I'm guessing I'm at the right place. Walter! Ah! Hi, Walter!
Oh, hi.
Hi, I'm Jill. Nice
Thanks
to
for
meet you.
coming.
Oh, I feel like I have been transported to Italy. Wow. I have to say, this is one of the most breathtaking studios I've ever been in.
Thank
and I'm
you.
not just saying that.
A quick look around his studio, and it's obvious. The man can carve anything. Beautiful fountains, garden pieces, classic statues, whimsical gargoyles, you name it. When Walter was 20, he went to Italy and learned his craft from some of the world's best stone carvers.
What would a stone carver from Italy from the, well, let's just say 1915, what if he walked in here? What would he say about your work?
Well, pretty much all the tools are the same. The only thing they'd have real trouble understanding is the telephone system.
Walter is known for his gargoyles, and he's going to show me one he's working on today.
A true gargoyle is a water spout. So a true gargoyle is part of the drainage system to divert water off the building.
What kind of stone is this?
This is Indiana limestone. Probably half of what I do is Indiana limestone. It's a wonderful stone. It holds a lot of detail. It weathers well. It survives outdoors for hundreds of years.
There are different chisels for different kinds of work. Some are just for blocking, others are for finishing, and so on. Walter carves in mostly limestone and marble. He gets it from a stone supplier that's been in business for more than 110 years.
Walter's one of my favorite customers. We take the blocks of limestone and we cut them into manageable pieces so that Walter can put the finishing carving on it. Every size Walter asks for is different depending on the job. Some pieces will be as much as 2,000 pounds or some may be as small as 200 pounds.
By the way, what are we making?
It'll be a keystone. We'll put a little gargoyle face in it. Now we need to take it down to this line, so for heavy rough out, I'll use what's called a pitching tool.
Yep, that'll work.
So here, why don't you give it a try?
Okay, ready?
I'll give it a good smack. There you go.
I got it!
And now we're ready to carve the gargoyle's face.
So now you can see where the face is going to be.
Okay, I see. This is the nose.
Yeah,
Eyes.
yeah.
Walter will now trust me to shape the other side of the gargoyle's nose with a vibrating chisel.
So you hold this in your hammer hand.
Okay.
Hold this in your chisel hand.
Okay.
And you'll have to hold it in there.
And do I hold it in there now?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, here, let me give it a...
I've already broken. Question.
Yep.
I just did that for probably about, what, 10 seconds or so. My hands are almost numb.
Basically, you let the tool do the work.
Which I was not doing.
Walter is so fast at this, a face appears within a few minutes of chiseling.
It's a little better.
It even has teeth. Way cool. So Walter, I just wonder what story you want to tell. What are you saying through your stone?
To know we can do things directly in natural material with our hands and do things that are beautiful and that will talk to people hundreds of years away is just a wonderful piece of humanity.
To perfectly wrap up Walter's story, I went back to the University of Chicago.
Guess what? That is a Walter Arnold original gargoyle that he gifted to the university, and it's the first one that they've accepted in 50 years. Go Walter.
Walter's work calls to mind an earlier time when things were made with such care. This episode's makers are all working on nostalgic, timeless crafts, the kind of work that predates us all by a lot. Mara Ambrose's painstaking attention to beauty, nature, and comfort in her quilts is a celebration of craft. Bobby Denton's rifles recall a time when the country was young, defiant, and determined. Walter Arnold's intricate stone carvings are a graceful homage to man's earliest form of storytelling. And because of their dedication, the work they do will continue to be passed down from generation to generation.